What is going on, everybody? Citizen back again with another World of Warships replay, and today I will be featuring the Mighty Mo, the USS Missouri, the Tier 9 premium battleship. And of course, everyone's seen this ship, we all know about it, the battleship with radar, the only one in the game, and hopefully it will always stay that way because if you ever watched my stream, you'll know my opinion is that there is a little bit too much radar going on at high tiers. However, taking the Missouri out, it is a fantastic ship, and I do spawn up here on the north side of the north map. So we're going to go ahead and push the C cap. I'm not going to go to D, and I highly recommend that nobody ever does, but C is a good cap to always try to contest. And going ahead, starting out the game, I will take a few pot shots at the enemy cruiser all the way down there at very far range, going down to the D cap. I don't recommend him going there, but you know, more power to him. If the enemy team is making a mistake, you don't want to let them know about it. So I will continue to push towards C for the most part. I do want to be a little cautious early in the game. You do want to do this with most ships in that you need to know where the enemy team is. If you're playing a DD and the enemy team has radar cruisers, you don't want to just charge a cap or anything like that. You want to know where the enemy radar is first, and then you can make your plays from there. So I want to see if, you know, there's 11 ships on the enemy team going to this side of the map. I don't want to go charging in too close where I can't get out. Whereas on the other side, if the enemy team charges to A, I want to be able to know that, so that way I can use the great speed of this ship to go ahead and charge in. So the beginning of this match is a little dull. I do see some enemy torpedoes going for my friendly Kagero there in the cap, and he is getting the C cap. Unfortunately, he did use his smoke, which is something you really shouldn't ever do as a destroyer when you enter a cap. It just becomes a giant sign saying, hey, my destroyer is right here. So yeah, you just don't really want to waste your smoke as a destroyer. You want to just use it for an offensive or defensive purpose. And if you go into a cap and you pop it right away, you're not using it for any purpose other than to just waste it. And you don't want to lose something as valuable as a smoke screen for 3 minutes. So I do see that the enemy Tirpitz is pushing in a little too close for his own good here on the C cap, and I do expect him to make a turn out, so that's why I am holding my fire. If the enemy isn't going to turn, you can always shoot the superstructure of an enemy battleship, and especially those German ones do take a lot of topside damage like that. However, I do see that this enemy Tirpitz is making that turn to port like I did hope he would do, so I'm going to wait for that angle to be the best possible one before I do unload my salvo. I do decide to shoot at this point, 12 kilometers away, enemy Tirpitz. The dispersion does not look like it's the best, but hey, 17,000 damage, I'm not going to complain about it. It could have been better, but, you know, you gotta take what you can get, especially on those German ones where you can't really citadel them reliably. And so, our Kagero does get a devastating strike on that Tirpitz, so the only person left to shoot at on this side is going to be that enemy Pensacola, and it is a Pensacola, so you really just want to shoot at them whenever you get the opportunity. And so that's exactly what I do. I load the guns and immediately shoot. I do notice that the enemy destroyer is taking shots at me from that smoke screen. It is just a Kagero, so he is behind an island and he's not going to be able to do anything other than shoot some guns at me. So I get one hit on the Pensacola, and of course it is a citadel. That is kind of just the nature of that ship. Do get some torpedoes spotted by that friendly Bismarck's Hydro, and so I do want to go ahead and just slip right through the gap for these. And now that I know that that enemy Kagero does not have torpedo booster because he is using a smoke screen, I don't have to worry about any torps coming at me for the next minute. So I decide I want to shoot at the Pensacola before I do use my radar, since I want to go ahead and get this cruiser knocked out, which you gotta feel bad for the Pensacola because I only hit him with 2 shells, and that's 2 citadels. And also, if I'd used my radar on this Kagero right now, I'd get 1 shot off on him, but then he would go full speed behind that island, so we're not going to be able to make full use of my radar. And so that's why I wanted to save it, since I just wanted to get the full use out of the 35 seconds that this radar can deliver. And so, if you look at the minimap, you will see that 2 enemy ships did go to the D side, which does mean we have a perfect opportunity to push this side of the map, since the only ones that are going to be defending it is this Amagi and this Iowa, and the Iowa is a little bit too far in his own spawn to be much use. So, I take a shot at him because he is broadside. Shooting at the Amagi, even when angled, is just not really going to ever do anything, and I do get rewarded with a nice double citadel. And we do know exactly where that enemy Kagero is. He is being permanently hydroed by either our Bismarck or our Z-46 that is pushing him from that cap. And so I'm just going to go ahead and keep going around this island. I do let the Bismarck go first because I did expect more Kagero torpedoes to come in. However, it looks like the Kagero was saving his torpedoes for our destroyer who was on B. So I will take another shot at that enemy Iowa this time. And I will go ahead and also put on some speed to get around this island, because I do notice how those destroyers fights are going out. And I got a nice 11,500 damage, not as good as the first shot, of course, but you can't really complain about getting a high damage amount. Unfortunately, our Z46 does go down to the enemy Kagero. However, this enemy Kagero is beached and really has no escape option right now, so he is going to go down. I'm hoping I don't have to shoot at him, but I do take this shot right here. And if not, I should be able to finish him off if no one else does. And that is correct, I do go ahead and take him out as well. So I do see that the enemies on D have killed our St. Louis, so that North Cal and that Baltimore should either be pushing around towards our spawn or coming back eventually. And right now what I want to do is essentially go straight towards the A cap and all those ships that are over there. However, the only reason preventing that is the Amagi and the Iowa. And if I were to give them a full broadside and they do load the AP and shoot it at me, even if their position is terrible and they could be bad players, it doesn't take a good player to be able to citadel you if you do go broadside. So I would need to go ahead and get both of these ships out, or at least get enough of an angle to where they're not going to be able to do anything to me. I do notice that the enemy Amagi is flooding out. I take the shot at him, however, for a nice little shameless kill steal. I like to consider him a kill secure, but he was pretty much dead anyways. So I continue to push around here. I am going to try to get this Iowa out, and at first I did think I had to angle at him, but yeah, he's an Iowa player, so I think we all know what that means. I am spotted, I'm pretty broadside, and that's what I was worried about, but he's going to pull the trigger, and yeah, high explosive. So, 5 hits into him, 16,000 damage. Could have been better, but once I realized he's just going to shoot HE at me, that I have nothing to worry about, and I'm just going to let our Bismarck handle him. So I'm going to return hard to A, and see what I can do about those enemy ships over there. And so, I have no qualms about giving this dude that perfect broadside, because even if he does shoot me again, I know it's most likely just going to be another round of high explosive. Take another shot at him. He is angling away, so I don't expect much from this salvo, and I only get about 9,300, so pretty much exactly what was going to happen. I do see that the enemy Neptune has taken up a smoking position over there, and is currently shooting at me and this friendly Bismarck who are over here. So I am going to want to start to close the distance on him, either put him in radar range or get him in the smoke screen. Looks like I have gone dark, however he continues to keep shooting at me, and this is a skill that you're going to want to learn for most players, is the ability to shoot into a smoke screen, especially when the enemy cruiser is parked full broadside like this. So I do go ahead and pull the trigger. Now, you're not always going to get rewarded, because your dispersion when you do fire at an untargeted ship like that is going to be all over the place. However, I do get a nice lucky citadel on that Neptune, and that is going to make him hopefully make him rethink about shooting me. However, he continues to just keep pulling the trigger blindly at me, since I am spotted because I didn't shoot. And so, like I said, that's something you're going to want to practice if you're a battleship player. Typically, if the enemy cruisers do sit full broadside on you like this guy was doing, you can just aim in between those gunfires, or those gun tracers from his main battery, and try to shoot him some more. Shoot him again. Unfortunately, my dispersion rolls a little terrible there, and I only get one citadel. Just to let you guys know, if you're that Neptune, what you want to do is be as angled as possible in a smoke screen. You don't ever want to sit full broadside. That'll help you mitigate any torps, and if battleships do decide to shoot AP at you, you're likely to get some bounces, or for the most part just miss. Do go ahead and dodge the enemy torpedoes. He is going full broadside to me on the other side, which means he is actually torping me again. So I pull the trigger, get a double citadel, and knock him out. However, I know that 8 more torpedoes are aimed at me, so I do want to take an evasive maneuver. So I go ahead and point my nose straight at A and go full speed. The nice thing about the Missouri is, because you are so fast for a battleship, that if you do change directions hard and then just let your engine open up, you will get such a speed increase that you will be able to dodge a lot of torpedo salvos that way. The only way he's going to torp me right now is if he expected me to do this, which, to be honest, I don't think anyone would have. So go ahead and take a shot at that enemy Kutuzov. The only ships I have left to shoot at are very far away at this point. And I do notice that the game is pretty much winding down, so I do want to go ahead and just push towards B, because I do want to get as much damage as possible. Typically, if I'm playing the Missouri, I am trying to get credits, and well, more damage equals more money. Enemy Kutuzov does take a fairly small amount of damage, nothing major, and he does smoke up. And now I notice that the enemy mass is most likely going to be spotting me very soon, but I do want to just keep going forward. I do have radar, so I'm not really worried about him since he cannot torp me without being inside my radar zone. And he does spot me right there at that point, right as the enemy Kutuzov and the enemy Leon pop up. And so I notice the Kutuzov is going full broadside to me. I do take another shot at him, and the dispersion is just looking like I'm not going to hit any shells, and of course I'm rewarded with the Citadel and the kill. And that's the Kraken, along with the high cal already that I got earlier, and now we're just down to the last 3 enemy ships. They do have a Baltimore over on the 10 line, who's really just never going to be seen for the rest of this game by me, of course. So I decided to pop radar because I assume that Mass has gotten a little too close for comfort. I didn't know he was on this low HP, but I do take the shot with the back turret at him, and of course I severely underled him. However, he does something really strange in which he smokes up under radar. And stops. So he basically just gives it to me for free. I go ahead and take the shots with the front turrets and take him out of the game. I am a little bit worried about his torpedoes coming in, however. I do know that the game is going to end relatively shortly no matter what, so even if he does get some torps near me, they're most likely not going to hit no matter what angle I give him. I've realized that with the time left, I'm not even going to get to shoot this Leon, so I don't even bother, and the game does end. And so, final verdict here is going to be 178,000 damage, 1.62 or 68 million credits in the Missouri. If you guys enjoyed this game, again, I am live on Twitch most days around 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll go ahead and put that link in the description. If anyone wants to see my Missouri build, just leave a comment and I will go ahead and post another video about the Missouri since I can get tons of games with it. Thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your nights. Out.